probably a little more than 10 years ago, maybe 12 or so. I can't exactly remember when. I was teaching, I think it was a business math class. Excuse me. And we're at a frustrating point of the class. This one girl was really getting agitated because you may be able to relate to this. I wouldn't give her the answer directly. I would lead her to the answer. I would give her different scenarios. I would try to relate it to her life, but not give her the answer directly because I wanted them to think, be able to use their brain, and come up with different solutions on their own. And eventually everyone if they stuck with me, they got to the right answer and we moved along and they were the better for it. Well, this one freshman at about 14, I think, that was it for her. She stood up in class. She said, "Mr. Kimball, how do you expect us to think for ourselves when we've been spoon-fed all of our lives?" Wow. That obviously has made such an impact. I still repeat that story all these years later because it shows to illustrate that we've been conditioned to believe that thinking is hard. And that, yes, 10, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, today, still seems to be the issue of learning how to learn, think, analyze, discuss are hard. Why? Well, many books and videos and seminars and research, gazillions of dollars and has gone into these kind of things. But I believe everything is right in what that young lady said. Mr. Kimball, how can you expect us to think for ourselves when we've been spoon-fed all of our lives? And I remember back in school, I look back and what I had to do to pass high school and pass junior college, and it was a lot of spoon-fed. It was not much thinking. Something happened, probably in the late 50s, definitely by the 60s. But something happened in schools that we stopped being required to really deep down think for ourselves, be independent, and do what and use our brain. And we've all been coddled and spoon-fed to the point where, well, that's why work hard if I don't have to? Why do the hard work if there's an easy route just to get it done? Give it to me. Okay, just give me the grade. I've done, the last few years that I've been here many times. No, I don't want to think about it. Just give me the grade. Just tell me what I have to do, pass the class, and get out of here. Just give me the answer. I've had several students. Just give me the answer. So you're making me think this is much harder than it really needs to be, Mr. Kimball. And when it boils down to, and if I ask individually, and I ask many of you individually, it boils down to, well, because we don't want to put in the hard work. You may have heard the story of what happens when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. That caterpillar has to wind its way out of that cocoon, and it has to struggle. And it'd be just so easy just to pop up in that cocoon. Well, the issue is it has to struggle because it has to take off some of the goop and the grime, and it allows that struggle going through the cocoon allows the wings to work. If we were just to help it and break open that cocoon, it would die. It would just flutter there. It could not fly on its own. It would have to be spoon fed or a little dip, whatever you want to call it, a little fed, and it would just die. There would be nothing left for it to do because everything was being done for it. I don't want that for you. And yes, you're all going to make it. You're all going to do so wonderful in life when you make that choice. When you make the good choices, you will do wonderful in spite of the kind of education you received. You can read, you can write, but you have to make the choice. Do you want to get better at it? Do you want to learn, how to analyze, how to think and discuss things? So when you're in a conversation with somebody, you can hold your own and not have to use some 4-letter words or something to try to brush it off. You can actually, you may not know the answer, but you can at least talk about it. Does that make sense? And when you want to get a better job than a minimum wage one, that you'll be able to sit in that interview and have done research on the company, so you're prepared to tell them why you should be that employee who's making a whole lot more money. So look, we are going to make this distance learning thing work. We have to. You have to. What other choice do you have? What is the alternative? Not graduate? Not get a diploma? The only other alternative is an inferior education, one that is way down here, hindering your ability to learn, think, research, and discuss topics in a way that will make you more successful in your career, in your relationships, and more. Look, y'all, I don't have the magic thing to say, the cool motivational attitude. I'm not one of those motivational speakers that you find on YouTube that I've been sending you that just make you go, wow, I'm just going to go do it. And 5 minutes later, I think I just watched something. I don't remember it, because they make us really go, and then we just forget it. So what I'm asking you is to consider the alternatives to not finishing here. Okay? So I don't have all I know is, as I look back on my life, the things that I should have done is what I'm asking you to do. And I know answering these questions can be tough, can be confusing, can be frustrating. But also, here's what I do know. Just about every single time, there's a rare exception, but just about every single time I talk with you all one-on-one about what's going on, it all comes back to what? What do you think it comes back to? Starts with an L. It comes back to laziness. We have this inherent desire to take the easy way out if we can, because we've been allowed to for so long. That's why you're here. And so I'm not letting you take the easy way out. I'm not going to be extremely difficult. And these classes are much easier than over at the high school anywhere else. But you do need to earn it. And you answer the question just like these ants here. When they started, it was solid ground. It was an unsurmountable task, it would seem. But they just started taking one grain at a time out. One grain at a time. And they're reaching their goal. One grain at a time. And that's what you do. One question at a time. One question at a time. And you know by now, it's all about conversations. Have conversations with me every single day. Just talk about it and talk about it. Because think about this. Many of you, some of you do work, and for the vast majority, you don't. You're sitting at home. You have 15 hours in the day. that you're not sleeping, what else are you doing? And for those of you who are working, you know that getting that high school diploma is going to help you get something better. Make sense? Okay.